Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would so totally love that. And if you're returning, how you doing? In this video, I want to talk about storing food, okay? How much food, how much is it going to cost, how to store it, that type of thing. I think the best place to start for people who are not preppers but want to start somewhere is to start with like a 3-day supply. Now, you already do that. Okay, I want you to think about that. Like when you go to the grocery store, you're already doing that, right? Well, how many times, I want you to think about this. How many times do you go to the grocery store every single month? Do you go once a week? Twice a month? 3 times a month? Or once a month? I go once a month, just because I'm not one to go into crowds. I really don't like it. Okay, so, and plus I do a lot of my stuff online. I do a lot of online shopping, whether it's through boxed.com. That's like big box, but it's online. It's called box.com, and you can get food, you can get toiletries, you can get a lot of things like that on there. That's a really good place to start if you want to, do online. Okay. The math on this really isn't that complicated because you're, like I said, you're already shopping, you're already doing things. Okay, so it's really all depends on you, your budget, how big your family is, and what you eat already, because you don't want to buy things just to buy them. You want to buy and you want to store what you're already eating. Okay, and because that's really, really important. Okay, I mean, it's really, 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 truly important that you do that. You want to store what you eat, and you want to eat what you store. Okay, and you want to look at it this way. You want to make simple menus. Okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Especially if you have little ones, snacks, okay? Even our elderly, they like to have snacks. Expecting moms, they need snacks. People who have health issues like diabetics, they need snacks. You got to keep your blood sugar elevated, okay? You got to keep it to a certain level, okay? There's so many different factors that you got to put into this, especially, if you have family members that have health issues, okay? I'm just trying to think. Okay, now after you have your grocery list, okay, and how many people you have, what you really eat, because that's what you want to stick with. What do you really truly eat? Okay, then you want to plan. Do you want to do 3 days? Do you want to do 3 weeks? Do you want to do 3 months? How much food do you want to buy? And what can you afford to buy? Because you don't want to go out there and say, I want to start prepping, but I'm not a prepper, and what do I do? Calm down. And you know what? Get paper and a pen and write this down, okay? Now you're going to ask yourself, how can I afford this? Coupons. Set a budget, and instead of eating out, that $40 that you were going to use for you and your spouse and your kids to go out to eat, take that 40 and go to Aldi's or Save-A-Lot or Dollar Tree or Big Lots and go to their clearance sections, like Big Lots. I don't know if you guys have Big Lots, but we have Big Lots here, and I go right to their clearance section. And they always have like snacks and things like that, and I load up that shopping cart on all of their clearance stuff. And that's what I do, and that's how I start with like their snacks, especially because my husband, he always these snacks in front of the TV, binge watching Netflix. So that's what you want to, that's what your focus should be on. Instead of going out constantly and going to restaurants and things like that, take that money, that $40 or $50 that it would have cost you, and go to the store and start stocking up. Now, what to store? Okay, like I said, it all depends on what you eat. Okay, are you on a diet? In my honest opinion, okay, when SHTF happens, are you really going to be worried about how much of your calories you're taking in? Or are you going to be worrying about feeding your family? And I know that's harsh, but I'm just being honest, okay? I don't like to eat fatty foods. But guess what? I don't want to go days without eating either. So some of the staples that you're going to want to look at, okay, is white rice. Now, brown rice obviously is the healthier option, but brown rice does not store long at all. You're looking at 6 months to store brown rice. White rice stores forever. Think about that. Okay. Instant mashed potatoes. Oatmeal, like the instant oatmeal, the quick oats. That's a very healthy option. So think about that. Okay. Canned veggies, canned meat. Okay. We're not big meat eaters, but we still do eat chicken, turkey. Okay. So get canned meat, canned chicken, canned turkey, things like that. Okay. Flour. If you know how to make bread, yeast, beans. Beans are very good with protein. They're very good with protein, okay? Because there's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to get any kind of meat. And beans are going to be your only option for protein, besides like peanut butter and things like that. But how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches can you possibly eat? So beans are a very good option. Spices. Spices will literally change your food game up. Literally. Okay. If you have a good supply of spices. Make sure you keep a good supply of baking supplies, like baking powder, baking soda, yeast, like I said, so you can make breads and things like that. Shelf-stable foods are very important. Another non-perishable that's very good is stuffing, like box stuffing. That's really good. Because stuffing, what is it, like a cup and a half of water, some melted butter, let it sit for 5 minutes, and it's good, right? So that's a very good thing to store as well. And make sure to rotate your food. That's so important, because you don't want to just keep piling things and pushing things back because of expiration dates, okay? Now, where and how to store it. Your pantry, obviously, okay? Cool, dry, dark places, in your cabinets, under your bed, in your closets, okay? Make sure everything is new and sealed, even if you want to do totes. You can do Mylar bags and seal the Mylar bags. Do you have a hair straightener? Get a cheap hair straightener and seal the Mylar bags with the hair straightener. Get the 5-gallon food grade buckets. You can get those actually for free sometimes from the bakery at Walmart with the lids. Get those and store the Mylar bags in that. Okay. Consider making a pantry list with all the supplies that you have, the dates, where you stored them, how you stored them, when you bought them, when you used them. And you want to put when you use them so you know when to restock. And get rid of any food that shows any kind of spoilage. You know, keep checking your expiration dates. That's very important. Any swelled cans, anything that shows any kind of rust on it, get rid of it. Dry non-perishable foods, they will get moths. So that's why I had suggested the Mylar bags and seal them with the hair straightener into the 5-gallon food grade storage buckets. That'll stop that. Okay. Something else that I do personally, like when I buy flour, even sugar, I do. When I buy anything like that, like baking supply wise, I always throw it in the big freezer that I have out in the garage. I put it in there first to kill off anything that might be in there. Okay, because you want to do that. You really do. Now, if you are going to be storing anything for like pregnant or nursing moms, you want to increase the food storage and the calories. You want to also at this time consider stocking up on formula, the infant cereal. Start, if you know how to can, start making, if you don't buy jarred baby food, start making baby food. I think that's really important because I don't remember when pediatricians suggest feeding infants baby food. I remember when my son was little, because even drinking formula and even putting like the baby cereal in the bottles, nothing was satisfying that kid. Oh, nothing. So at 3 months, the pediatrician said you can start him on jarred baby food, but I wouldn't do jarred baby food. I made my own baby food, and what I would do is I would like cook apples and make my own applesauce and pears and things like that. So you might want to consider doing things like that now. Like if you have a pregnant mom or a nursing mom, stuff like that, you know, you might want to start consider doing all that. Also, remember, people do have food allergies like peanuts, dairy, you know, so Dollar Tree, I do know this because I buy it. Dollar Tree has almond milk. It comes in like a cardboard container with a screw-off lid, like how you would buy vegetable stock, beef stock, chicken stock. It comes in the same kind of container. They have almond milk, so that would be a really good option too. Powdered milk, okay. Having something else that's non-food related is having kitchen tools that are not powered, like manual can openers, you know, that type of thing. Whisks instead of electric mixer. Okay. Now, storing for your animals, obviously, I talked about this in a separate video. That's very important because they are defenseless. They can't do this on their own. You know, we have animals too, and we get all of our supplies from Chewy. That may not be an option for you, but it is much easier for me to have our stuff delivered by Chewy. We do save a lot of money by going through Chewy, but if that's not an option for you, you know, if you have pets, start stocking up for them now. only because, they are defenseless. They can't do this on their own. They look to us to feed them and to make sure they have water and their flea and tick treatments and stuff like that, because if they get fleas and ticks, guess what? That brings on more health issues. And if SHTF happens, there's not going to be vets around. So these are things that you have to take into consideration, especially if you have puppies. I remember when we had originally gotten Ridley, my dog. He was 5-6 weeks old, and the people we got him from, they should have never even had dogs, but I guess their female had gotten pregnant, and they were literally just throwing these dogs at people. Here, take them, take them, take them. And I know I'm getting sidetracked, but I just want to show you what happens when you don't take care of your dogs, especially when it comes to fleas and ticks, okay? I took one look at him with his condition, because I didn't want a dog, honestly, because I already had a dog. I had my Molly, and Molly was an older dog, but I took one look at him and I said, oh my God. I mean, the condition he was in was so terrible. I said, I'll take him anyway. And if I have to, I'll just rehome him. Okay. He was so overloaded with fleas that his gums and his tongue was completely white. He was lethargic. He couldn't even hold his head up. It was that bad. When I brought him home, I put him in the sink to give him a bath. His skin was so weak from flea bites that the skin from the back of his neck all the way down his back literally fell off. So that's what can happen if you don't keep up with fleas. So make sure you keep up with not only their food and water, but their fleas and tick treatment as well. Okay, so that's just a little backstory on, on my guy Ridley over there. Also, something else to take into consideration. I know in today's world, we're so used to cooking a certain way and, buying prepackaged and things like that. Now is the time to remember how our grandparents used to cook for us and cooking from scratch, and keeping it simple in the kitchen. One channel that I absolutely adore, on YouTube, and the woman has since passed, but her name is Clara, and she survived through the Depression. That's how she grew up through the Depression, and she had a little cooking channel, and she would show you how her family survived through the Depression. And she cooked all of her mother's recipes on this channel. And to be honest, I cooked some of those recipes. And my God, was the food absolutely delicious and very simple and very plain, but amazing. And there's actually a cookbook out that her grandson had published for her, and it's called Cooking with Clara. You know what? Actually, really quick, hang on. Okay, I just wanted to look up her channel because I couldn't remember the name of the channel. It's called Great Depression Cooking, and it's an older woman, and she's in her 90s, literally, and she would cook in her own kitchen, and her grandson would videotape her. And these videos were literally, like, some of them are 10 years old. But she passed quite a few years ago, and her grandson is like redoing a lot of the videos and reposting them. And I learned so much from her. So go check out her channel. And she cooks from scratch, and a lot of it is eggs and potatoes and, just simple meals, honestly. So we really have to get back to basics, especially in the kitchen. Okay. But that's all for this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. And please subscribe, like this video, share this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.